Desiree Banyares, Bachelor of Arts in Language and Literature Studies track, SUMMA Cum Laude, will deliver the valedictory address.
Our commencement speaker, Dan Mejia, Chairman Aurelio Montinola III of the FEU Board of Trustees, University President Michael Alba, our university administrators, faculty, staff, friends, parents, and guardians, and fellow graduates, good day to you all. The tale of ambition finds its roots in Greek tragedy. Caged in an inescapable prison inside a maze, Daedalus crafts wings made of wax for his son, Icarus. He tells Icarus to temper his passions, to keep his flight low. But Icarus is so full of wonder for the heights he could not reach, a dreamer compelled with an urge to challenge the impossible, a graduate navigating adulthood for the very first time. And he flies higher and higher and higher. Soon, his waxen wings melted off his back, and he plunges to his demise. So we have been told. The dreamer has fallen, so never fly too close to the sun. Then they tell us we must keep our opinions to ourselves. We must follow the path set for us. We must choose an academic program that will pay off in the end. We must plan our future through the system. We must love the right person at the right time, at the right place. We must be logical in all things, succeed, make it look effortless. We must calculate the risks, the fall, the cost. We must do only what they say we can in the way that has been provided for us. Or maybe we have been told that we must move forward and soar high, to follow our passions despite the trouble, but that doesn't remove the fear of the act. We must still put ourselves through the terror of being on our own. We must overcome the pressure and meet the expectations because we have been afforded the privilege of choice. But if we look at our mazes below and our wings against the sky, the realization will dawn on us. The promise of living and having lived is not without risks. The joy of the flight numbs the burn of the sun. The real tragedy is not having to fly at all. There is an oversaturation of discouraging messages in our media, our communities, and our daily lives. We are not straight enough for our families. We are not gay enough for social media, not masculine enough for unquestioned leadership, not feminine enough for relationships, not rich enough for private education, not old enough to say something about politics, not young enough for emotional vulnerability. Fly low, they said. Don't hurt yourself trying to fight for unwinnable ambitions, for opportunities you are destined to lose. But we have spent too much of our time being the person other people expect us to be, flying at the height designated for us, letting stereotypes mold around us while our limitations make decisions for tomorrow. But testing limits, living for ideas, and engaging with the world is part of our humanity. It's the pleasure of our youth. But I will be the first person to admit, it's not easy for me to say these things with optimism, while, after all, I am a child from a middle-class family who migrated from Dubai. I was always in line for promissory notes from elementary to high school. I was the person that people didn't expect to be here. Because even if my parents were from abroad, it didn't mean that our finances and our circumstances were all accounted for. While my OFW parents loved me and supported me through my choices, They lost their jobs to the pandemic, a situation I do not blame them for. Since then, I have been a working student trying to maintain a scholarship. I was doing my OJT, participating in student organizations, writing my thesis while juggling 2 jobs. The formula for academic and professional success was not on my side. I am not the kind of person that should be standing in a private institution representing effortless success, because it was not effortless. I was at the bottom of the heap, but now I am standing at the podium. A century ago, I would not have been allowed to step inside the university, let alone given the honor to deliver its valedictory address, from a background that told me I could not afford greatness, and that the impossible should stay impossible. Now I am proud to claim that I am the first woman from my direct family lineage that is graduating from college. In defying the circumstances handed to me and the rules of the game, I had to be ambitious. I had to stretch and push upward as far as I could go without hurting others. I had to disregard the pain of melting wings, the fear of burning out, the voices, including my own, telling me to settle. And I'm sure many of you have done so in your own ways. Our queer students in this room, constantly fighting for space and visibility. Our future nurses, clamoring for better health and professional care. Our international studies, interdisciplinary studies, and political science graduates bearing the burden of the state of governance and possibilities of national growth. Our communication graduates, who are about to change the voice of the nation. Our language and literature graduates, who are grappling with the values and questions of humanization and culture. Our working students, university athletes, university artists, children of OFWs, and scholars who have scrawled through each semester to reach the finish line. You are here because when you fell from the sky, you tried again and again and again. When the sun burnt your wings, you grew new ones. When the circumstances were against you, ambition drove you forward. And yes, some of us have no choice but to start our flight low. Some of us must get comfortable with having wings first before putting ourselves through the long flight. Some of us must take our time, and that's fine, because reaching the sun is not about who's first and who's last. You, like Icarus, have heard the warnings and limitations. You took them to account and decided that the risk of falling is worth the journey. The people in this hall, who are wiser than us, have done the same in their youth. Because of that, they want us to direct our energy towards achievable things. They mean to guide us and think the best of us. They want to save us the trouble of making and correcting mistakes. But I say, make them anyway. You never know what things may change until you are there. You never know what generational cycles you are going to break until you fight for them. You are big enough to battle for the right, smart enough to build your own path, and brave enough to serve your community. You deserve the space that you occupy and the opportunities that come your way. The only thing you must do is make the effort to chase after the light of your sun. Because despite their warnings and their fears for us, our guardians, mentors, facilitators, and predecessors have given us our wings so that we can test them. Like today, they will be proud of us for trying anyway, and even prouder when we succeed. We have survived the breakdowns, the breakups, the coming outs, the choices to stay in, the tight deadlines, the overwhelming units, the disappointment of failing, and the pressure of expectations. We have survived the student organization responsibilities, the transitions, our personal home situations, the pandemic struggle, the long elevator lines, and the literal and metaphorical heat of university life in Manila. We are no longer the same people we were at freshman year. Our falls have inflicted wounds, and trying has changed us. But we have met so many friends and inspiring people along the way. We have found a home in the happy halls, kept sleeping spots in Freedom Park, and taken 100 photos to remember our 20s. We have cried over the future that we dreamt for. We have labored over our degrees, and today, this chapter ends. So, on behalf of all the graduating students in the room, I would like to thank Far Eastern University for giving us the opportunities to grow and helping us through the maze. To our parents and loved ones, we will always appreciate the love and support you gave us, there and back again. To our friends, we say, I had the time of my life fighting dragons with you. To the higher power and the universe, thank you for being on our side. Every lesson learned was a drop of wax, every memory a feather, and now we fly. Finally, to my fellow graduates, the dreamer of ancient myth may have fallen, but the Tamaraw of today is a testament of victory. That's what you are. We have conquered our green and gold skies, and now we must rise again for another challenge, to live in full, in fortitude, in excellence, and in uprightness. So I ask you now, Far Eastern University graduates of 2023, give yourselves a cheer when I ask, are you ready to come at life with horns up and wings open? My last words are, fly high. Congratulations and thank you.